Hello everybody, my name is Pete Alfaro and I'm here with candidate David Lee for the mayor race, which, as you may know, is coming up on May the 9th. I understand early voting starts this coming Monday, April 27th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And we're having that. I will be giving David about 5 questions to answer, and we appreciate the opportunity to meet with David and get some of his insights of running for mayor of the city of Baytown. For those of us who may not know, I served as mayor for 11 years, from 1993 to 2004. I feel I have a little idea of what the mayor job is all about. No, seriously, it is quite a job. It is a very important job in the city of Baytown. So without further ado, I would like to start now with the questions, Mr. David. The first question is, in the current economic environment, how would you balance the city budget? Raise taxes or cut services?
Well, in the current economic crisis or time that we're in right now, actually I would view this as an opportunity. We would try to cut the budget, but we would try to cut the budget through not cutting city services so much as to privatize areas of city government that is feasible, to where we could have private contractors that come in and do the same jobs for a competitive price that would put us on a better footing. The city of Indianapolis, Indiana, back in the early 90s, actually had city departments bidding against private contractors, of which most of the time they would win the contracts, but it saved over $100 million on the city budget. And that is some of the areas I would look at. I don't propose that we lay off city workers per se. What we do is phase this in over a period of time and use attrition and retirements to achieve the goals that we're looking for.
Thank you, David. The second question is, what do you consider Baytown 3 most important issues and why?
Well, we have to look, number one, at the way we are growing. And to remember, not only are we're still a very growing city, if you will, but we cannot forget the areas of the city that grew a long time ago, and we have to make sure that we keep our services and our standards up for that part of town, and to provide them things that they need. Over in the District 1, it would be nice to maybe have a grocery store over there, and a pharmacy, and maybe a small strip center where they don't have to travel quite so far to get some of the needs that they would like to have. And third, we have some large infrastructure issues in town that need to be addressed because of growing like we are. You know, we have our sewer and water issues in some of the areas south of the loop. We have you know, growing needs for additional sewage treatment and things of that sort, and providing water to citizens, and that's things that we have to keep up with.
Now, the third question I have is, why are you running for mayor again? Because you have run for mayor before, I understand. Why should Baytown citizens vote for you this time?
Well, as you well know, Pete, one of your opponents during your tenure as mayor was myself, and I will say that you were quite the gentleman, that after the election was over, you come over and introduced yourself and met my family. And I will say this, that anytime someone runs for public office, it is an experience like none other. Okay. But I am older, wiser. I have a lot of experience with the job that I do. I'm a research and development technician, and I know how to identify and to approach problems, how to systematically put out a plan and to work things out. I don't have all the answers. What I have realized over time is I'm smart enough to go find the people that do have the answers and work in a consensus with people to achieve goals and to address issues and to have a positive influence on the city as a whole. I'm not saying that any of the other people that are running for mayor are unqualified or bad. What I am saying is I believe I bring a fresh approach to the city and to take us in a different direction to help jumpstart the economy in town, and we could become a model for the rest of Houston to look at.
Thank you, David. Now, somewhere around the same sort of thing we're talking about now, what do you consider the duties of the mayor of Baytown, and which ones do you think you might enjoy, maybe which ones you might not enjoy?
Well, the duties of the mayor, we have a city manager form of government, and so he is a paid person that will administer the daily duties of the city. The mayor works with the council, and he is a liaison for the citizens to the city manager, and vice versa. I believe the mayor can wield a bit of influence on the direction of areas and issues that are being discussed or considered. But definitely one of the most important things that any mayor or the council would do is to keep in constant contact with their citizens to gather the input. That way they can sit down and look at this and pass it along to our city government so they can continue on to serve the citizens.
Thank you. The fifth question, and by the way, if this final question, I'll allow you to go ahead and make about a minute and a half closing statement, David. So, how many city council meetings have you attended the past 2 years, and are you on any city committees or board at this time?
During the last 2 years, I've attended one city council meeting. That was approximately a month ago. Although in times past I've attended several over the years, and I've actually spoke before council, spoke before you, as a matter of fact. I do not serve on any committees at this time. I've served on one committee about 20 years ago, but I talk with people, talk with citizens. Matter of fact, I talk with you in a Mexican food restaurant quite often for breakfast, and so I do keep aware of city issues and goings on. I don't rely solely on one source or two sources, but I talk to a broad number of people. You know, on the previous question, you had asked what would be something I would really like to do. I like to deal with people. I'm a people person. I'm a good listener. That is where I believe I can serve best, is to get the information and then somehow bring it back to the council, to the city manager, the department heads, and say, listen, this is where we stand, and this is how the people feel. How can we address this? What would I like least? Certainly back in September, we went through some very difficult times with Hurricane Ike, and there were some decisions that had to be made that are never easy. But, and I will say this, the city did a wonderful job getting through this. They had a plan that worked better than most, and the citizens of Baytown were served well, and I commend them for that. So,
Thank you, David. Now, any final comments you want to make, you're welcome to go ahead and take a minute and a half that you want to make.
Well, we have discussed a change of direction for the city. I believe right now that if we were able to, over a period of 3 to 4 years, come in and privatize portions of city government, or at least put them out for competitive bid, we could save some substantial money in the budget that could be put to use elsewhere. I also have a concern about education, and one way to spur economic development in any town is to educate your workforce. And one of the things I propose is a privately funded scholarship fund that would allow students that would graduate from the school district here that live within the city to have some assistance to go to, say, Lee College.
Thank you very much, David. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, sir.